So good morning, students. So this is Karan Kumar Das from Electrical Engineering Department. So last class we have discussed about the total syllabus that is prescribed by ACTVT for fifth semester Diploma Engineering, and today's we shall discuss about the detailed discussion about the syllabus and the course content. So in a first chapter, you have the subject content that electrolytic process, okay, or electrolysis. So in electrolytic process, in a syllabus, you have several components, just like the definitions of electrolysis, the basic principles of electrodepositions, or what is the basic principle behind your electrolysis process, then important terms regarding the electrolysis, then Faraday's laws of electrolysis. So there are two Faraday's law for electrolysis process or electrolysis phenomenon, and the next one is the definition of current efficiency, definitions of energy efficiency, then principle of electrodepositions, which is nothing but the basic principle here I have told. Next one is the factor affecting the amount of electron depositions, and next one the factor governing the electrodepositions. So these are the affecting factors and these are the governing factors. That means it will act as the catalyst. Okay. So then we shall discuss about some simple examples during the subject discussion, or during different component discussion. We shall discuss about some basic examples and then the applications of electrolysis. So today we shall cover all these things, and I think you all will be clear after going through the slide. So first of all, moving to the definition of your electrolysis process. So what do you mean by electrolysis process? So electrolysis process is nothing but it is the process by which the electrical energy produce a chemical energy or chemical changes. This process can be normally used for the extractions of pure metal from their ores. Okay, so as we know, each and every metal is having a ore. So from the ore, if we'll extract that material by using some electrical energy or using some electrical potential, then that phenomenon is called as your electrolysis. Okay, the refining of materials, that welding of own part in metallurgical or chemical and in other industries. So generally this electrolysis process phenomenon generally used in different production industries, just like your chemical industries. Generally this is frequently used for the extractions of your pure material from the ore, okay, or extraction of some certain material from the ore. In other way, electrolysis is also, it can be defined as, it is the process that exploits the creation of solid materials directly from the electrochemical reactions in liquid compositions with substrate materials. So we will discuss about what is your liquid compositions and what is the substrate materials. It is one of the chemical method and also known as electroplating. So generally this electrolysis process, if you will discuss about the electrolysis process, So small diagram I am drawing here. This is my container. So inside the container you need to take some solution. Okay, so it is called as the transmitting mediums. Two electrodes are generally immersed inside this solution. Let's say this is my anode, this is my cathode. So anode is always positive where cathode is negative. So now anode is supplied with a positive supply and cathode is supplied with one negative supply. So it is my DC supply. Okay, so and pure DC supply is applied to two different electrodes. One will act as the anode, second one will act as the cathode. So anode is always positive whereas cathode is negative. Suppose I want to coat this cathode material. Suppose this cathode is an iron material whereas this anode is an copper material. Okay, so as this is my positive ion, so what will happen, this anode will supply, or we need to extract the material from anode to your cathode. So the copper material will be extracted from here and it will be decomposed at your cathode material through this medium. So there are different kinds of solutions used for the electrolysis process. So step by step we shall discuss about the total process or the entire process. So this process is also used for your electroplating. That means we are plating one material by using other material. Just like in that example what we have discussed, we are plating the iron material by using your copper material. Okay, next one. So in this process or this electrolysis process are of two types. One is your electroplating, another one is the electroless plating. So in electroplating, the substrate is placed in electrolyte. The substrate is placed in electrolyte. Substrate means the material which should be decomposed or which should be extracted. It should be placed inside the electrolyte. When an electrical potential is applied between the conducting area on the substrate and a counter electrode in the liquid, a chemical redox process takes place, resulting in the formation of your layer of material on the substrate and usually some gas generation at the counter electrodes. Okay, so as it is a extraction process, so inside the electrolyte you need to submerge the substrate and the substrate will extract the material and that will be plated on other material which is placed at the other end. Okay, so that process is called as your electroplating. Just like your imitation jewelries, that electroplating process generally used for the coating of your imitations by using the gold material or by using your golden color. So gold material plating, golden color plating should be there at the imitation jewelries by using this electroplating. Okay, next process is called as your electroless plating. So substrate is placed inside a more complex chemical solutions in which the deposition happens spontaneously on any surface which forms a sufficiently high electrochemical potential with the solution. No external electrical potential and contact to the substrate are required. So electroless plating means in this process no electrical energy is required, whereas in electroplating electrical energy is required. Okay, so in electroplating electrical energy is required, whereas in electroless plating electrical energy is not required. Just like you might have seen in goldsmith area how they are coating the material and how they are cleaning the jewelries by using this electroless plating process. So certain chemicals are used for the electroless plating or electroless metal reduction techniques. So you will find this total electroless plating process at the goldsmith shop. Right, now moving to the next. So there are some basic principle of electrolysis. So in this slide we shall discuss about how the electrolysis process is happening. What is the principle behind the electrolysis? So as we have discussed, in electrolysis process, one electrolyte is there, anode and cathodes are used. So anode is positive whereas cathode is negative. So one DC supply is given to anode as well as the cathode, right? So after applying this DC supply at the anode and cathode end, what will happen? Let us consider we are taking the electrolyte as NaCl, that means a salt water we are taking here, right? Anode is positive, so two metals are immersed inside the salted water and we're applying some DC energy here, right? So by the applications of your DC energy, what will happen? The NaCl, that is a salted water, now it will decompose into two different ions. So one is your Na plus, sodium plus, Cl minus, chlorine minus, or chloride minus. Okay, now next one. So after getting this one, so after supplying the pure DC voltage here, NaCl will produce and Cl minus charge will also produce. Now as the anode is positive, so it will attract the negative ions, that is your Cl minus ion will be decomposed at, or it will be gathered at the anode terminal, whereas at cathode, as it is negative, so it will attract the Na plus ions. Okay, so as the sodium is moving towards the cathode and the negative charge and Cl minus is traveling towards the anode, on reaching at the cathode, the N plus ion reaching at the cathode is positively charged sodium ion takes one electron forms and forms a sodium metal at the cathode. Okay, so as the N plus ions are moving towards the cathode, so it will decompose at the cathode and it will create a sodium material at the cathode end, right? Each of the negative charged chloride ion will gives one electron to the anode because it is having a negatively charged, so it will gives an electron to the anode and cease to be an ion. Now as the sodium metal is deposited at the cathode end, the ions collected at the cathode reacts with the water, right? The ion which is collected at the cathode reacts with the water and gives out oxygen and hydrogen chloride. Okay, so some gas will form that we have already discussed in the first slide. So during this electrolysis process, some bubbles will release, that means some gas will form inside this solution, right? So whenever the sodium material is gathered at the cathode terminal, it will react with the water which is present inside the salt water. So 4Cl plus 2H2O, right, it will produce 4 hydrochloride plus oxygen. So now oxygen will be generated. So in case of your cathode, if in case of your cathode is made up of your sodium, suppose I will take this cathode as the sodium, again the hydrogen chloride, so 4 hydrogen, that means the hydrogen chloride reacts with the sodium, forming the sodium chloride and liberating hydrogen gas. So 2HCl plus 2Na, it will produce 2NaCl plus hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. Okay, so after the decomposition of your Na plus ion at the cathode, again I will clear your doubt. So after the decomposition of your NaCl and Na plus ion at the cathode, it will react with the water and this equation will form. So it is producing oxygen. And if the condition is that if the cathode is an sodium material, then again this sodium will react with the hydrogen, again the hydrogen chloride will react with the sodium and it will form this equation. So 2HCl plus 2Na is equal to your 2NaCl plus H2, right? Okay, so thus the sodium material form the sodium chloride in water and is deposited at the cathode. The above process, the entire process is called as your electrolysis. Okay, so in similar way, if you want to coat one material, so you need to place that material, the material which need to be coated, it will be treated as the anode, and the material which should be decomposed, it should be taken inside this electrolyte, and whenever the positive supply is applied, so it is not negative, it is not positive, it is negative, it is your positive terminal. So when the positive supply is applied to the anode, then it will decompose or it will create the ions inside the electrolyte, and the positive ion will be moved towards this cathode and negative ions will move towards the anode, and it will gives one electron to this anode and it will be neutralized. Okay, now moving to the next slide. So there are two different laws for electrolysis. So this is called as the Faraday's laws of electrolysis. So Faraday's have stated two laws. In first law, what he has told, this law states that the mass of the substance deposited from the electrolyte is proportional to the quantity of electrolyte passing through the, or quantity of electricity passing through the electrolyte. So what we have seen here in previous slide, this solution is called as the electrolyte, this solution is called as the electrolyte, and these are called as the electrodes. Okay, so according to the Faraday's laws of electrolysis, he told if the mass of the substance deposited from the electrolyte is proportional to the quantity of electricity passing through the electrolyte, by using the electrodes, right? So that means the mass m is proportional to the current into the time, which is equal to ZIT. So where I is nothing but the steady state current. Why it is steady state? Because we are applying DC source, so that's why it is steady state. So steady state current flowing through the electrolyte in ampere, and small t is the duration of current flowing through the electrolyte. Z is the constant of proportionality, and m is the mass of the substance deposited, okay, or mass of the substance deposited at the cathode electrode or cathode terminal. Sorry. So an electrochemical equivalent, Z is nothing but the electrochemical equivalent. So what is Z? So electrochemical equivalent Z is equals to the mass of the substance deposited when a steady state electric current of 1 ampere is passing through an electrolyte for 1 second. That is, if I is equal to 1 ampere and the time duration is 1 second, then Z is equal to m. If I is equal to, according to the law, m is equal to ZIT. Okay, let me m is equal to your ZIT. So if I is equal to 1 amp and t is equal to 1 second, then mass is equal to Z. Okay, so again moving to the next. So usually Z is expressed in terms of your kilogram per coulomb, so it is kg per coulomb. So this unit should be remembered. Next one is the Faraday's second law. So according to the Faraday's second law, this law states that when the same quantity of electric current is passed through the different electrolytes, suppose we are taking different electrolytes and same quantity of electrons are applied for a particular certain durations, the masses of the substance deposited at the cathode are proportional to their respective chemical equivalents or equivalent weights. Okay, so for different electrolytes, if same amount of current is applied, then the mass of the substance extracted or deposited are proportional to their respective chemicals equivalent or equivalent weights, right? So it is stated as the chemical equivalent is equal to the atomic weight divided by the valency, right? So for a certain amount of current for certain time period, if the electrolytes are different for a particular amount of current flowing through the electrolyte, the mass of the substance deposited are proportional to their respective chemical equivalents or equivalents weight. So chemical equivalent is equal to your atomic weight divided by the valency. Now moving to the next slide. So these are the, in this slide we shall discuss about the various terms related to your electrolytic process. So what are the various terms in electrolytic process? Some of the important terms related to your electrolytic process are discussed below. So these are your voltage, current efficiency, energy efficiency, equivalent weight. So we know that for electrolysis, voltage is very much essential because we are applying one DC source. Positive should be applied to anode and negative to cathode. So DC source is very essential in the electrolytic process. So voltage is a essential part. If V1 and V2 are the voltage drop across the electrolytes and the electrodes, because we are using one electrolytes here and these are the electrodes, so there are two different losses of voltage, where one is for your electrolyte another one for your electrodes. So if V1 is the voltage drop due to these electrolytes, V2 is the voltage drop due to these electrodes, then total V is equal to the supplied voltage V is equal to your V1 plus V2. Okay. Next, so voltage is the very important terms in this electrolytic process. Then what is current efficiency? In the electrolytic process, the secondary reactions are caused due to the impurities. So what is secondary reactions? So the primary reactions is the extractions of your material from the electrolytes and decomposition of the material at the cathode. That is your primary reaction. So what is secondary? Secondary reactions are the caused due to the impurities available in the material. Therefore, the quantity of substance liberated from the electrodes is slightly less than that of the quantity actually calculated by the Faraday's law. Okay, so from that the current efficiency is equal to the actual quantity substance liberated or deposited divided by the theoretical quantity substance liberated or deposited. Okay, so if you will think about your theoretically, then this is my container. Inside the container I am taking some electrolyte for the as the medium, and this is the electrode. If anode is this one and cathode is this one, if this is the copper material, so if it is not the pure copper, then after the primary reaction the impurities which is available inside this anode or inside this material, it will again react with the electrolytes. Okay, so due to that, if theoretically we are thinking that total decomposition and total depositions are same, then it is not equal, because as it is the impure material, so the amount of voltage applied here, it will not exactly equal to the amount of material decomposed or amount of material deposited at the cathode end. So from that concept, the practically if you will think, depending upon the quality of the material used as the anode for the electrolytic process, the amount of voltage which is applied at this end, it will extract the material from the anode and it will deposit the material at the cathode terminal. So current efficiency is nothing but the actual quantity is subtracted or liberated or deposited divided by the theoretical quantity substance liberated or deposited at the cathode. Okay, the practical value of your current efficiency is lies between 90 to 98%, but it should not be 100%, because the material which is used at the anode, it is not exactly your pure material, so there is some impurity available inside the material. That's why the current efficiency is not 100%. Okay, it should not be treated as 100%. Now moving to the energy efficiency. Due to the secondary reactions that we have discussed here, it caused by the impurities present inside the electrolyte, the actual values of your voltage required for the depositions of material from electrode is higher than the theoretical values, because as the electrolyte or the anode material which is going to be subtracted, it is not pure, so due to that large amount of voltage should be applied at the anode and cathode. Okay, so there is the voltage, supplied voltage should be much more higher. So due to the secondary reactions caused by the impurities present inside the electrolyte, the actual values of voltage required for the depositions of the material from the electrodes is higher than the theoretical values of voltage. So theoretically, if you are thinking this is pure material or your electrolyte, if you are taking the material inside the electrolyte is pure, then the actual voltage which we are applying, that is exactly with the practical applied voltage. But if the electrolytes are the impure materials, then for the decomposition or for the depositions of the material at the cathode end, we need some extra amount of voltage just because of your impurity available inside the materials. Okay, so for that only the energy efficiency is equal to the theoretical energy of voltage required divided by the actual energy of voltage required. Again, moving to the equivalent weight. The equivalent weight of the substance is defined as the ratio of formula weight to its valency. So equivalent weight is equal to the formula weight divided by the valency. Now moving to the next. So that are the terms related to your electrolysis process. Now what are the applications of your electrolytic process? So electrolytic process are generally used in several industries. Just like in chemical industries, electrolytic process are generally used. Okay, so for the manufacturing of your chemicals, just like the production of your caustic soda, so this electrolytic process is generally used. So for the production of the caustic soda, these are the two methods used. One is the diaphragm process, and second one is the mercury cathode process. So it is a theoretical, several theories are written here. You just go through this, and this is one of the example of your electrolytic process. So in your exam you can also write this example. Okay, now moving to the next slide. So what are the factors? Now what are the factors affecting the quality of your electrode depositions? So there are several factors, just like your nature of electrolyte. So as we have discussed, if it is a pure material, then the extraction process is much more easier. If it is a impure material, then the extraction process is not so much easier. So extra amount of voltage should be needed for the extraction of the material or decomposition of the material from one terminal to the deposition of the material at the other terminal, that is your cathode. Okay, so it depends upon the nature of your electrolytes. Next one is the current density. So current density is nothing but the depositions or the deposited material is very much stronger and it should be porous. So if the rate of current is higher, then the nuclear area formed, and at low current density the depositions are codes and it is crystalline. Okay, so if current is much more higher, then the decomposition process it may be affected. So it is also one of the factor that is affecting the quality of your electro decompositions. Okay, so one steady state voltage should be applied and current should not be much more higher. Okay, next one is the temperature. Similarly, temperature is also affecting the electrolytic process. Then conductivity of the material. The high conductivity of the electrolyte leads to the reduction of your power consumptions, and also prevents the formation of your rough deposit of the material at the cathode end. That means if the conductivity is higher, then the it prevents the formation of your rough deposits or rough deposit of your material at the cathode end. So conductivity should be much more higher in your electrolytic process. Then the next one is the electrolytic concentration. So if the concentration of the electrolyte is more, the higher will be the current density, which leads to the depositions of thin and uniform metals. Okay, so current density needs to be higher during this electrolytic process, and if the electrolytic concentration, the material, the medium which is used, if it is much more dense material or dense solution, then conductivity is much more higher, current density will be higher, and it will deposit the material uniformly at the other metals. Then there are some additional agents also. You just go through the theory and you will get all the informations. Next one, the last slide. This is your throwing power. So it is the ability of an electrolyte to produce uniform deposition or deposit even on the regular surface. So in this figure, the uniform anodes and cathodes having irregular shape of PQ and RS are here given. So anode is a straight and cathode is not uniform, it is having a irregular shape. Okay, so if your cathode, the distance between the anode and cathode is irregular, then the surface of cathode PQ and RS is different. Therefore the resistance of the current path from anode to PQ is much more than the RS because it is having higher distance. So the distance between these two is less, whereas the distance between these two is more. So if it is not uniform, if cathode is not uniform, so here the resistance at the above part from anode to PQ, the resistance is higher. From anode to RS, the resistance is lower. Okay, hence the thickness of the depositions of the surface PQ and RS are unequal, because as the distance is increasing, so the resistance is increasing, so deposition is less. And if at the lower end, anode to RS, as the distance is less, so your resistance is also less, so your coating or decomposition or deposition of the material at the RS terminal is higher as compared to the PQ part. Okay, so at PQ part it is lower, at RS part it is higher. Okay, so throwing power can be improved by following two ways: by increasing the distance between the anode and the cathode, by reducing the voltage drop at the cathode surface. Okay, so by increasing the distance between the anode and cathode, throwing power can be improved by the following two ways: by increasing the distance between the anode and cathode, by reducing the voltage drop at the cathode surface. Okay, so this is all about your today's class, and in next class we shall go through the next chapter. So this is your first module, first chapter is completed, and next class I will give some notes, and you should go through this is your notes also. I will share the PDF, and you just go through the PDF, and I will give some questions related to your electrolytic process. So thank you all.